Welcome to Muscle and Strength, Ryan Terry here. So today we're hitting legs. So the first exercise is a leg extension. We're just warming up in a minute, so probably 2 to 3, just to get blood around the knees. Obviously it is cold, so we need to warm quads up, hamstrings, everything. And then we're gonna get on with some big lifting. So the method of training today is we're going to do 2 warm-ups on each exercise, or a feeler set on each exercise. Then we're going to go in heavy weight for 6 reps. We're going to do a second working set at 8 reps, and then we're going to do a third working set at 10 to 12. So we're going to try and stay the same weight and increase the reps, but obviously if we can't, we'll just reduce the weight slightly and get those rep ranges.
Slow it down a touch.
Typically, we only really ever do leg extension at the start or at the end, as like a bit of a pre-exhaust, obviously getting blood into your knees before we do like a compound lift, like a squat. But it's also good for either a superset or a finisher, because obviously you can drop it, because it's plate loaded, it's a machine what's plate loaded, you can go through the pins quite quickly, and you can keep the intensity at the end of a session. So. Moving on to the next exercise, which is a V squat. We're doing 1 feeler set to see where we're at weight-wise. I'm trying to stay away from my belt, but if I need it, I will use it. But it's just trying to get these like surrounding supporting muscles and my lower back fired now, and trying to get my back stronger that way. So if any of you can relate to like back problems or hip problems like I've got, it's all about trying to train round them and not to aggravate them. And squatting for me, although I'm a big advocate and I love squatting, I think there's a place for it in training. If I go too heavy, it comes all into my lower back and not on my quads. So this is when I start to swap certain exercises around, and why I've introduced V squat more so, because this puts the load directly into your quads. Obviously if you go past 90, it engages your glutes and your hamstrings, but it doesn't put pressure on my lower back. Hey. So the third exercise is a single leg press, and I do a lot more single work since my hip operation back in 2018, because obviously 6 months off doing anything on my right leg, so I create an imbalance. So I always start on my left leg, my weaker leg. Whatever I can get to my maximum weight on my left leg, I'll match with my right. We did 1 feeler set then, which was 10 reps, and then we're gonna aim for 10 reps again, but with a heavier weight, and class them as working sets. sets of 15, feeler set, warm-up set, make sure the hamstrings are warm. And then we're gonna do 3 working sets at what rep range?
2 sets of 6-ish,
Yeah.
1 set of 10, like a deload set.
Yeah, so the working sets are our maximum heavy weight for 6 reps. Yeah, so this is the last working set, so it's kind of like a back off deload set. We're going to go for around double figures in rep range, so 10 to 12. So the last exercise we're going to be doing on hamstrings is a stiff leg deadlift. I really like doing these because obviously when you're doing leg curls or lying leg curls, it's a good way to stretch or elongate your hamstring after doing those type of movements. So we're going to go for 4 working sets, including the feeler set. So very similar to what we've been doing on the other exercises, and then we'll move on to calves. So we're just finishing off on a seated calf raise. We're trying to hit these twice a week, obviously hitting legs twice a week. Calves is one of my weaker muscle groups, and I always found that if I go too heavy on calves, I don't get that mind to muscle connection. So a lot of the time I'll do like higher rep ranges and focus more like on time under tension type of tempo reps, supersets, just keeping like blood volume rather than just mass weight. We've done 1 feeler set and we're doing 3 heavy-ish working sets. So just a little recap on what we've done today. This was the first leg session of my push-pull split of the week. We were quad dominant with hamstrings and calves. Obviously the next leg session is going to be more hamstring dominant. If you want to see more workouts from me, then make sure you go check out my YouTube channel also, which is Ryan J. Terry, and make sure you subscribe to that. But also subscribe to the Muscle and Strength channel if you like this video and you like the content they're putting out, and I'll see you in the next video.